Baseball is back at Pringle Field on the campus of Riverdale High School for this evening's presentation of Florida high school baseball action between the Riverdale Raiders and the Cape Coral Seahawks. Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the Riverdale Raiders broadcast network for Riverdale's first of two preseason games as we ring in the 2016 baseball year. This is Nick Rush giving you the play-by-play action as we are just moments away from the first pitch to start us up on this beautiful Tuesday evening. Raiders taking the field right now as a part of their warm-ups. Once again, in just a few moments, we'll have your first pitch. It's time to take a look at your uniforms in this ball game. The Raiders are wearing their home white uniforms, garnet red script numbers on the back and Raiders across the chest, white pants, and red hats and caps with the white R fixed on the center for Riverdale. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks of Cape Coral, they're wearing their road dark blue uniforms, orange numbers on the back and cape across the chest, gray pants, and dark blue hats and caps with two orange C's on the front, which stands for Cape Coral. Thank you to those just tuning in. Once again, it's game 1 of 2 for the Riverdale Raiders and what we like to call the Raider Preseason Classic. Overall, it's been an interesting day here. We already had a ball game at 4 p.m., which we'll tell you about in just a moment. First batter for Cape Coral about to come up.
Leading off, top of the first inning for the Cape Coral Seahawks, shortstop number 5, Hunter Bontager.
So Hunter Bontager is coming up to the plate for Cape Coral to start things off here in the ball game. Leaning in off to the left hand of the batter's box is a right-handed swinger. Here's your first pitch from your starting pitcher for the Raiders. That's going to sneak its way inside for a strike one, and we are underway. First pitch start time is taking place at 7:07. Here's the next windup on the way. Swung on and missed, and Bontager starts off 0-2 at the plate. Starting pitcher for Riverdale is going to be Carson Palmquist, wearing number 14. He's a left-handed hurler, standing in at 6'3", very tall guy. Here's the 0-2 windup, and that's going to be low and away. Now 1-2 is your count as we are just underway once again at Pringle Field on the campus of Riverdale High School. Thank you for tuning into this varsity baseball contest between the Riverdale Raiders and the Cape Coral Seahawks in the preseason contest. Here's Palmquist with the next one on the way, swung on and missed. Bontager swings and misses, and that's your first out of this ball game.
Next batter for Cape Coral, catcher number 16, Matt McDade.
Matt McDade, the catcher, is going to come up batting second for Cape Coral. Here's your batting order for the Seahawks. Hunter Bontager is going to be first. Second is Matt McDade. Batting in the number 3 spot is Brandon Dye. Cleaning up in the first, it's Angel Mania. Fifth is Daniel Fanego. Kagan Smith batting in that 6th spot, as this fastball is going to be too low for a ball 1. Number 7, it's Vellum Brandt. Jorge Espana is going to swing the stick as number 8. And last, it's Andrew Jafarian. And Reed Harris is going to be the pitcher, and he's not going to see the batter box today as far as we know. Now tied up at a 1-ball, 1-strike count as the next one sneaks its way right down the middle. Windup reaches the dirt, 2-1. So it feels nice to finally be back here at the ballpark for Riverdale baseball. Once again, this is a preseason game, so the outcome is not going to count in the standings, but it really is a great way to just get these young men ready for the upcoming season. Next one is hacked and missed. 2-2 with 1 out at the top of the first. Carson Palmquist, the starter for the Raiders, the pitcher on the mound, looking very solid. Thus far, striking out Hunter Bontager, the shortstop, and the starting batter in the 9-man order. The hurl to home plate is going to be up in the corners. Now a full count on our hands. This is Nick Rush giving you the play-by-play action once again. It's 0-0 between the Raiders and Cape Coral. And the next one is going to be up and out. That's going to be a walk, the McDade.
Next batter for the Seahawks, designated hitter number 8, Brandon Dye.
Brandon Dye batting in the third spot, playing the DH now with one man on.
Courtesy runner now running at first base for the Seahawks, number 10, Spence Roach.
Spence Roach is going to be the courtesy runner over on first base for McDade. Taking a nice leadoff over there on first. Teams trying to encourage the players out there on the field right now from the dugouts. Raiders sitting off to the right hand of the batter's box. And meanwhile, down the left side, that's going to be where Cape Coral sits, once again, down the left field line. Foul ball is going to be spiked away here by Dye for his first pitch down right field. That's going to go out of play and into the stands. And a ground ball deflecting off the top of the Raiders' dugout. One out, still scoreless, and here's Roach trying to steal second. Throw is going to be not in time. Take a look at that. Roach stealing over on second, and Cape Coral with one out at the top of the first. They have a man in scoring territory. So a little bit of motivation now for Brandon Dye. Once again, the designated hitter for Cape Coral. Very exciting game up ahead. At the 4 o'clock game, you had Canterbury defeating Estero 2-1. That was your first ball game of the day as a part of the Raider preseason classic, which we just mentioned moments ago. On Thursday, the Raiders are going to be playing Canterbury. Estero and Cape Coral will be facing off on Thursday as well at 4 p.m. before the Raiders contest. Here's another one, spike foul over the Raiders' dugout. Now 0-2 for Dye. Fighting off multiple foul balls. Brandon's a right-handed swinger. Bounces this one down first base to the bag. And it's stepped on first for the out. Guarding first base there was Joel Velez.
Batting next for Cape Coral, third baseman number 10, Angel Mena.
Angel Mena coming up. Joel Velez standing over on first base, coming up with a big part of that out, being called up from JV last season. So Mena coming up, the third baseman for the Cape. 2 outs and no score. Just underway here at the top of the first. Palmquist is going to start off Mena with strike 1. The Raiders are ringing in the 2016 baseball year with a preseason matchup here against the Seahawks of Cape Coral High School. They went 19-10 last season and went all the way to the 2015 Florida High School Athletic Association Baseball Championship bracket, where that is spiked all the way back here towards the press box at the open door. Very thankfully, though, we have that safety netting. I remember that happened more than plenty of times here last season. Well, the PA announcer's awake, I'll tell you that. Well, Cape Coral, they fell to the Sebring Blue Streaks in the regional semifinal by a 2-1 score. This next one's going to reach outside. Thank you to all those fans just tuning in here. It's the first game of the Riverdale Raiders season. Playing here in a preliminary ball game. Once again, the results are not going to count in the record books, but great opportunity to get these players prepared, as another one's going to barely miss. Palmquist putting in some nice work on the mound, trying to finish things out here. The windup is... oh, they call it a ball. That was a close one off to the edges, but that call is going to keep things alive for Angel Mena at the plate. Once again, another righty. We have ourselves a full count. The payoff, and that Mitch's, well, looks like a little bit of confusion there by me with the pitch count. Now it's a full count. Excuse me on that one. A little bit of a rough start, but we'll make our way past that. Now, we're ready for the payoff pitch. Palmquist leans in and releases home, and that is going to be way off. Now Cape Coral has runners over, and eventually you're going to have Roach steal over to third.
Next batter for Cape Coral, left fielder number 2, Daniel Fanego.
And Roach, he stole over prior to the payoff pitch. Once again, a little bit of a rough start. I'll apologize to that, but we're getting back into the swing of things. Up next, it's Daniel Fanego, the left fielder for Cape. Now batting fifth. A lot of notes and a lot of topics I'd like to discuss in tonight's game. It really is going to be a fun broadcast, so thank you for tuning in to the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network. 2 outs. Cape Coral, it's nothing, but they are threatening with men on the corner. Roach on third, Mena on first. Roach is a courtesy runner. Swung on and missed. That's going to tie up your count. Nice crowd filed in on hand here at Pringle Field. Down to right field line, that's where the Raider fans are sitting, and right now it's looking pretty packed down there. That's a very nice sign. Same down to left field line for the Cape Coral seating section. Here's another one, hack and a miss. And now Palmquist is just 1 strike away from ending the madness here on what has been a very lengthy top half of the first. He's a single away from producing an RBI with Roach on third. Palmquist is a freshman, so very impressive to see him have such a dominating performance. Swung on and missed, and that ends the madness.
And after a half inning of play,
We'll take a quick break and head to the home half of the first right after this, where the Raiders are going to bat for the first time of the preseason on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network.
number 1, Tyler Yeager.
That's a very nice thing to hear as the Raiders head to the bats for the first time of the preseason series. At the home half of the first between Riverdale and Cape Coral, it is nothing. A little bit of a rough start for the Raiders defense, as well as the starting pitcher Carson Palmquist, who was off to a slow start once again, but he was able to end the madness, keep Cape Coral off the board, and strand runners on third and first. Yeager's going to take a swing and a miss. Too early on that one. Yeager very excited for the opening season. Been able to talk to him about that as he hacks the next one back. Now 0-2 off to the fast start. Very lengthy top half of the first by Cape Coral once again, but Raiders held in strong there. Palmquist giving up 2 walks there. This one swung on and missed. It's going to go wild. Yeager trying to take over the first, but the catcher delivers over to the bag, and Yeager is retired.
Next batter for your Raiders, right fielder number 9, Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy, the sophomore, coming up, playing his second year with the Riverdale varsity baseball team. Played a lot of right field last season. And here is your Riverdale Raiders starting lineup after this pitch. It's a bouncer over the third, going across the diamond the first, and there's the out. Quick 2 up, 2 down inning for Cape Coral at the bottom of the first. Still nothing. And just a little bit of a stoppage here. Looks like you have the Cape Coral manager discussing something with the home plate umpire down the third base side. So we're going to see what this is. We're not sure what this is all about. Yeah, right now, a little bit of a stoppage. Players standing around, and Hunter Tinsley patiently waits outside the left hand of the batter's box. Taking some practice swings, has a few moments to himself, and home plate umpire heading back to the game. So let's get this started.
Next batter for your Raiders, third baseman number 4, Hunter Tinsley.
Hunter Tinsley, nice to see him back in full swing. last season mainly played as a courtesy runner and a pinch hitter, but he's back. He told me he had arm surgery last year, which limited him out there on the diamond, but sounds like he's doing better and he's ready for this season as well. Wow, check swing there. They're going to count it as a strike as he's now 1-1. First pitch was low in the dirt. Here are your coaches for both teams. The Seahawks are Mike Gorton, coaching Seahawks since 2010, and the Raiders are going to be coached by Bob Pringle. This is an error, and Tinsley keeps the inning alive, digging in on first. It looks like the first baseman bobbled it with a grounder over the third. So that'll keep things going here at the bottom of the first. It's 0-0 once again.
Left fielder, number 10, Colton Seitz.
And up comes Colton Seitz. Seitz playing in the left field today. Once again, last year he was a pinch hitter and runner. Standing in very tall here. Well, the coaches, it's once again Mike Gorton for the Seahawks since 2010 and Bob Pringle for the Raiders. He's been coaching this Riverdale team for decades. He's seen a lot out there on the field, so that's why we named it Pringle Park. This is a nice pitch high up, but stays inside for Seitz' first pitch. 2 outs, and we're scoreless at the bottom of the first. Riverdale, you have Tyler Yeager, Matt Hardy, and Hunter Tinsley, your 3-man duo-up. And right now you have Tinsley sliding back over the first as the pitcher's going to check up on him. Starter for Cape Coral is going to be, starting pitcher rather, is going to be Reed Harris throwing on the mound. He's a right-handed hurler. This belts its way down low once again. 1-1. Colton Seitz batting fourth. Tyler Prell is fifth. Carson Palmquist batting in the 6th spot. Joel Velez is going to be batting 7th. At the number 8 spot, it's Colin Azevedo, and Daniel Kaler is batting last as Tinsley's going to dive safe again with another check on him from Reed Harris. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Next one on the way, hack and a miss. Now 1-2. Harris just one more pitch away possibly from ending the opening inning here in this preseason matchup. Raiders and Seahawks. Great game so far. They're checking over to Tinsley once again over the first. That's the 3rd time. I remember last season, I was just about to say that. We were talking about up here in the press box. Every time they throw over the first, that should be counted as a ball. That could really speed up the game, and I think it's a nice idea, needless to say, as another one is going to just miss. 2-2 is your count with 2 outs, and yeah, it definitely would speed up the game. I think it's a nice idea. Because that pitcher can throw over the first to check on Tinsley however many times he wants. Chips it down third, and it's foul. Seitz really in a battle right now. Seitz last year had 31 at-bats, 9 hits. So he did have some decent outings last year, as this is going to be over the second, throw to the second base bag, and there it is. That ends your first inning, and we are scoreless. Live from Riverdale High School, we'll take a break right after this.
Number 32, Kagan Smith.
Kagan Smith is going to lead things off for Cape Coral as we head to the top of inning number 2. And we are tied up at 0-0 between the Raiders and Cape Coral. Kagan Smith. He's going to try to get a piece of that, and it's going to go foul as it plummets into the ground. Kagan Smith playing the first base bag in today's game. It's the 6, 7, 8 spots batting here for Cape Coral in inning number 2. And he's going to try to chase another pitch outside, and that time he's going to direct it to the backstop. 0-2 as Carson Palmquist continues his journey up on the mound for the Raiders. Very long first inning, 23 minutes total, top and bottom innings. I feel like a majority of that time was spent at the top of the first. This is going to be a swinging strikeout for Kagan Smith. Swinging a bit early on that one.
Next batter for Cape Coral, center fielder number 1, Vellum Brandt.
Vellum Brandt is up next. Once again, another right-handed swinger. So far, all batters for Cape Coral have been batting off to the left side of the batter's box.
Turn the mic on, start chanting, "Hey, batter."
We're thinking of, we're just having a lot of fun here being back up at Pringle Field in the press box. A lot of good times as this is a bouncer over the second, thrown over the first for the out on Vellum Brandt.
I'm so used to the others pushing buttons that don't work on buttons. Because it's these three and that one and the score, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Batting next for the Seahawks, right fielder number 5, George Espada.
Jorge Espana, the right fielder, is going to be up next, not George. Well, what we were just talking about here is that we have a new scoreboard at Pringle Field. This is a temporary as far as we know.
Yeah, it's temporary.
Okay, it's temporary.
The other got zapped.
Yeah, the other one got struck by lightning, so that's currently not in use today. Very unfortunately, I'm not used to seeing this one. We have a timer on it.
Well, it's not a timer, it's just a clock.
It's just a clock.
It's a clock, so we know how long the innings go.
Yeah. Okay, so back up over to Jorge Espana. Starts off with a ball and a strike. As the 0-1 just went below his knees there. Very interesting seeing that new scoreboard. Once again, not used to seeing it there, but I wonder how long that's going to last until we get the other one repaired. 1-1 is going to be fouled to the net.
If they can, because they looked it up and it's 25 years old, they may not be able to get parts for it. So we may get a new scoreboard.
So we may get a new scoreboard as the former scoreboard that got struck by lightning. That is over 25 years old. That sure is crazy, folks. 0-0 swung on and missed. 3 up, 3 down inning for your Raiders. And still scoreless. Home half of the second we go right after this on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network.
Concession stand, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, hot dogs, bratwurst, Coca-Cola.
Tyler Prell coming up as we are ready for your bottom of the second. And it's 0-0 between Riverdale and Cape Coral. Great game so far. Fans enjoying it as a part of your Raider preseason classic ball game as Prell takes a strike one. Very smooth top half of the second for the Raiders defense. It was a 3 up, 3 down. Next one for Prell. That's way out of the ballpark and into the forest down the right side. My goodness, we have a nearby forest out there. That's near the veranda. I think that's going all the way out there to the community.
That could be out on the second hole, we're not sure.
Yeah, that could be out there at the golf course. 0-2 is not going to be a strikeout. Now down to 1-2. Tyler Prell playing the catcher for the Raiders. Last season it was Kevin McEltrop playing as the catcher. Now a JV coach as Prell strikes out swinging for out number 1.
Next batter for your Raiders, the pitcher, number 14, Carson Palmquist.
Here comes Carson Palmquist. Once again, he's a freshman on the varsity team. He's put in great work so far in the previous 2 innings on the mound. Bottom of the second, top half of the first. Had a little bit hard time, but after a while, he got comfortable. He retired the first inning with men on third and first, and then 3 up, 3 down at the top of inning number 2. First pitch strike to Palmquist. Next one, it's going to hit the corners for a ball. 4 strikeouts so far for the Raiders and Carson Palmquist. So looking solid, needless to say, as this is going to be whacked out of the ballpark once again. Yeah, that could be back towards our grill near the concession stands. 1-2 to Palmquist. 1 out at the bottom of inning number 2. Neither team able to score just yet. Hopefully that will change a bit soon, but both teams looking pretty equal right now. Wind up, and he misses the strike zone. Up on the mound once again for Cape Coral for his second inning of pitching. It's Reed Harris, number 22. So it's pitcher versus pitcher action going on right now. This always is interesting to see. And all levels of baseball, this is going to hit the ground. It's now 3-2, full count on the way for Palmquist. Humid night for baseball. 75 degrees here at Pringle Field, 20% chance of precipitation as the payoff is going to hit the safety netting back behind home. Deflecting off the bat of Palmquist for another foul. Wind is blowing south at 1 mile per hour tonight, 78% humidity in southwest Florida. Your overall forecast is mostly cloudy, but for the most part, skies seem nice for a game of baseball in southwest Florida. This is banked down the first base side. Can he beat the throw? No, he will not. Stepping on the bag there was Reed Harris racing over to first. And received a toss in time from Kagan Smith.
Batting next for your Raiders, first baseman, number 5, Joel Velez.
Here's Joel Velez. Was able to talk to him quite a few times. Great player. Once again, spent last season at JV, so nice to see him up here at the top for varsity. Playing first base on the Raider defense. The first one rather, is going to be low but inside for the strike. 2 outs at the bottom of the second. Raiders nor Cape Coral able to score just yet, 0-0. As Velez tips back the second one, 0-2. Thanks for tuning in once again on the Riverdale Raiders broadcast network for tonight's game. Nick Rush giving you the call on a great Tuesday night. Here's another one off to the edges. Right now the catcher had to slide out of that one. Playing as the catcher is Matt McDade. It seems like right now you have Harris aiming down low for most of his pitches, it seems like. Let's see if he's going to throw off Joel Velez, and he does right down the middle for the strikeout. He watches. End of your second inning. Neither team still able to score.
Cape Coral 0, Riverdale 0. For the Cape Coral Seahawks, second baseman, number 8, Andrew Jafarian.
Andrew Jafarian, the second baseman for Cape Coral, will start things off. And the brand new third inning, as it's 0-0 between the Raiders and the Seahawks at Cape Coral High School. Palmquist on the mound once more. Oh, this is violently brought out of the play down right field. My goodness, that was a laser hit there by Jafarian. This one is away for a ball. Great night at Riverdale High School once again. New season and some new scenarios for the Raiders, which we'll talk about after this 1-1 on the way. Carson releases home, pitching his third inning, and that's going to deflect off a home plate. Ball 2. The Seahawks come into this contest representing Class 6A District 11. They will share this division, as the next one's back here towards the press box, once again fouled. We'll repeat with another one in just a moment. Seahawks sharing the division with schools like Cypress Lake, Mariner, Ida Baker, Island Coast, North Fort Myers, and Port Charlotte. Oh, now this is another one lower back to the protective netting for another foul ball. The Raiders this year are a part of Class 7A District 12. This is a long one. It consists of other teams like Estero, Gulf Coast, East Lee, Naples, Lehigh, Palmetto Ridge, and South Fort Myers. Glad we got that one out of the way, as this one is close and outside for the full count on Jafarian. Riverdale was a part of Class 7A District 11 last season, which held 4 teams including RHS, so with 8 teams in their current district, they're going to have to work twice as hard if they want to make the district playoffs, and the team did exactly that last season. Jafarian is going to take a base on balls as the payoff was left.
Next batter for the Seahawks, shortstop number 5, Hunter Bontrager.
And by that I mean wide left of the plate, excuse me, but up comes Bontrager as we head back to the top of the order for Cape Coral. Struck out in his first at-bat. Oh, this one is just going to miss his waist for the ball. Tyler Prell playing the catcher for the Raiders, doing a great job. Played third base last year. So 1 on, none out, as we are just underway for inning number 3. The next one's going to be way up for ball 2. So Cape Coral hoping to be the team to draw first blood in this ball game. With that man over on first, the leadoff hitter Bontrager will. And as this ball is going to plummet into the dirt, Prell is going to walk up to the mound to talk to Palmquist here as we have a stoppage in the play. It is now 7:43 here in inning number 3. So game moving along at a fair pace, but either way, it's been great once again to just get back here for some more baseball. It's been a long off season, but you know, we're just happy it's finally here. Yep. We are excited for Raider baseball to return. It's going to be a fun year. And a nice long string of games it's going to go throughout the spring. Oh, this strike somehow sneaks its way through, and it's now 3-1. Yeah, Bontrager, he was just getting prepared to walk. But the home plate umpire was able to give him the strike. Here's the windup home, and that's going to be lifted outside once again. Out of the ballpark, a lot of the foul balls are going out towards the veranda community. I'll tell you that. Yeah, it's like a golf course out there. You go out to the golf course. They're not going to be golf balls out there, but large baseballs. Alright, so here we go. This is lifted up way down first base. Is it going to be caught? No! My goodness. Chasing after that ball down first base was Joe Velez, and he just couldn't track it down. That ball was twisting in all kinds of directions, and Velez just couldn't put it in the back of the glove. So right now, Bontrager very lucky to continue the at-bat here. Jafarian is over on first. The windup, and he's going to take his base. Wait a minute, was that a strike? My goodness, that time it was Bontrager, and that's actually a strikeout. My goodness, what a sting that must be. Bontrager heads back to the dugout instead of first base.
Now batting for Cape Coral, catcher number 16, Matt McDade.
All right, so let's get you caught up here at the top of the third. 0-0, but Andrew Jafarian's over on first. Hunter Bontrager just struck out for the second time in a row in this ball game. And up comes Matt McDade. Took a base on balls back in the first. Starts with a ball. But yeah, that was very unusual. Hunter Bontrager, he tossed a bat, was going down first. And then the umpire said, that's strike 3, you are out. Well, you can never assume too quickly until you get that home plate umpire's signal. They have the best view of it, so I can't really complain either way. And take a look at that. Andrew Jafarian steals over the second without a throw from Tyler Prell. And the Seahawks now have a man in scoring territory over on second with 1 out. So Matt McDade takes a few moments to himself outside of the batter's box. Currently with a 2-0 count. Here's the next one going home, and it's an early swing and a miss. So Cape Coral threatening to score first here at the top of the third with that man over on second. Once again, Andrew Jafarian. The next one's going to be off to the sides for another ball. 3-1. Thank you for tuning in to Riverdale Raiders Baseball Network. Once again, Nick Rush giving you the call here in this preseason game between the Raiders and Cape Coral. Thursday, the Raiders are going to be back in action for yet another preliminary contest, which is going to be against Canterbury, and this is going to be another walk, this time delivered to McDade, as there are men on second and first for Cape.
For the Seahawks, designated hitter number 8, Brandon Dye.
Brandon Dye is up next. He grounded out the first in his last at bat.
Courtesy runner for McDade, now running at first base, Spence Roach.
And it's going to be Spence Roach once again.
Roach.
Last time he was on the base pads, he made it over to third back at the first inning. Anyhow, he was stranded. That's as far as he could get. So, Roach hoping to keep things going in a positive manner here over on first, as this is going to be chopped out of the ballpark by Brandon Dye, the designated hitter, batting third in the lineup once more. 2 men on, 1 man out here in inning number 3. Riverdale and Cape Coral squared off in the regular season opener of both teams last year. The Seahawks beat out the Raiders by a 2-0 result in a matchup that was played at Terry Park. Pitch gets wild and outside, but the throw over the third was not in time. Both runners are going to advance now on third and second. All right, so Raiders defense in a little bit of a bind once again. Cape Coral with that opening runner over on third. Have a great opportunity to score first right here. Fans draw quiet here as the 1-1 is not even going to be close. 2-1. Many new faces on the 2016 Riverdale varsity baseball team that were not on the varsity roster last season. Some of those athletes we will name after the next windup. That's going to be out towards left center field, and it bounces down. Cape Coral is going to score in 1 runner. Can they score in 2? The throw home is not going to be in time. Cape Coral leads 2-0. Runners coming home were Andrew Jafarian and Spence Roach. Jafarian from third, Roach from second, and that's an RBI double for Brandon Dye. So now 2-0 Cape Coral at the top of the third.
Next batter for the Seahawks, third baseman number 10, Angel Mena.
Angel Mena coming up, hoping to add to some of the damage that Cape Coral has produced. Now with Dye over on second as a result of that RBI double. And only 1 out at the top of the third. Cape Coral. They have so many opportunities right now to get this out of control. The great thing about baseball, though, is that it can turn on a dime whether you know it or not. This is back towards the safety netting as it banks off foul. So coming up, it's Angel Mena. I always like those players out there on the bench. It's a very lively crowd we have here at Riverdale High School. You always have the players on the dugouts supporting their team. You have the fans always making some noise. They always love some great baseball. Throw over to second. It's going to spill its way out towards center field. But the runner over on second, Brandon Dye, is not going to have time to advance over to third. Very interesting play. It was just a check over to second on Dye, where the throw is just crazy and it bounced its way out the center. But once again, no harm, no foul for the Raiders, as Dye is still stuck over on second with one out. Cape Coral finally to produce some runs here at the top of the third. They're finally able to produce runs as Velez steps over on first for out number 2, but not before Dye reaches his way over to third base. It's currently 2-0 Seahawks off of a 2-run RBI double. Scoring in Andrew Jafarian and Spence Roach earlier on here at the top of the third.
Number 2,
Daniel Fanego on the way up. In his last at bat, he struck out at the top of the third swinging. And his opening pitch is going to be right down the middle. So some of the JV players for Riverdale that was not on varsity last season, of course. These athletes were Trent Clark, Joel Velez, Kyle Adorno, Trevor Peckham, Carson Palmquist, Daniel Kaler, and Colby Davis, Jeremiah Dunnick to go along in that group. And let's see, that pitch is a ball 4. Or hit by a pitch, excuse me. That one just barely brushed off the leg.
Next bat, first baseman number 32, Kagan Smith.
Kagan Smith is up next. Well, at first it looked like a wild pitch, and you had that runner over on third, Brandon Dye, coming home, but then after the hit by pitch, he trotted his way back over to third base, and Fanego is now on base number 1. Runners around the corner once again for Cape Coral in this ball game. Last time they had this scenario was at the top of the first, and of course, they could not produce any runs. Now here at the top of the third, they're getting a little more comfortable out on the field and making things happen as Kagan Smith stands in tall, takes a pitch high up for ball 1. The 1-0 on the way. That's gonna, looks like it tipped off of the catcher's mask of Tyler Prell there. That's gonna tie up the count as a result of the foul, 1-1. So it's 2-0. Cape Coral in the lead. And right now you have Dye over on third, threatening to be scoring runner number 3 if things all go well. Still 2 outs here as this pitch gets away from Prell. Runner coming, throw home is not going to be in time, and it's now 3-0 Seahawks. Brandon Dye was that runner scoring from third, taking advantage of the wild pitch. So now Seahawks up 3-0, and up comes Coach Bob Pringle for the Raiders, hoping to have a conversation here with Palmquist. Not sure if he's going to yank Palmquist on the mound or if he's just going to have a talk, but the entire infield is going to come in here. So we'll just have to wait a quick moment and see what this is all about. Right now it looks like he's just having a little bit of a talk, and Palmquist is most likely going to stay in the game. No one warming up. And the Raider bullpen down the first base side, so let's see. Alright, now the meeting's going to be broken up. And the players are going to slip back over to their spots on the infield. So it looks like Palmquist just needed a little bit of guidance there by Coach Pringle watching the game from the Raider dugout, and we'll resume action. 2 outs here for the Raiders, so that's the good thing. Bad news, runner on second. So 3 runs able to be brought in here by the Seahawks. All in this 1/2 inning, top of the third. Palmquist winds home, takes the strikeout, and that's going to end your sides. Bottom of the third we go. But the Seahawks have grabbed control. It's 3-1, Cape Coral in the lead.
The third inning for your Raiders, center fielder, number 3, Colin Azevedo.
Colin Acevedo is going to be starting things off for the Raiders, hoping to get the Raiders fired up here as they are trailing 3-0. Seahawks able to produce 3 runs at the top of the third inning as this is hacked back to the press box again. Boy, is it a death trap. Well, it would be if we didn't have this great safety netting that does a great job every single ball game. So Azevedo is going to foul the first pitch back, the 0-1, coming from Reed Harris. Hammered over to the shortstop, across the dime in the first, and he is out. So Azevedo is retired from the grounder to shortstop.
Next batter, second baseman, number 15, Daniel Kaler.
And out comes Daniel Kaler. There's a Kaler chant coming from the Raider bench. I remember last season, the Riverdale dugout, they had their own chants to the senior players and all the players alike, and it certainly was a very fun and entertaining time, and it still is now. It's great to hear that the players are encouraging their teammates as Kaler takes a ball one down low. 1-0. Bouncer down third, going to the first base bag, and Kaler is out. Cape Coral taking care of business, now 2 up, 2 down here at the bottom of the third. Seahawks still in the lead, 3-0.
Batting next for your Raiders, shortstop, number 1, Tyler Yeager.
And up comes the senior, Tyler Yeager. He struck out back in the first inning. So coming up 0 for 1, let's see if he can get something going now as he swings late for a strike. It seemed like in his first at-bat, he just had a little bit of a difficult time on just finding the ball with his swings. Chopped a few foul balls as this is another swing and a miss, 0-2. Well, Reed Harris is doing a great job throwing on the mound. Throwing straight gas, that's why I like to call it. Very quick and sudden movement. Was that fair? My goodness, Tyler Yeager, he had a miracle as he's over on first. What a bizarre play. We'll explain that in just one moment to you. Wow, that was truly bizarre as Matt Hardy comes up.
Right fielder number 9, Matt Hardy.
Well, what happened is Yeager, he just bounced this very slow bouncing pitch down third base. They waited for it to go foul, but it never did. And Yeager got over the first base without even a throw. So that really was something interesting you don't see every ball game. And right off the draw, you're going to have Harris checking over to Yeager on first, who slides back safe with the throw. He's going to be tested again. Yeager's safe. Harris has been known for doing that tonight, checking on those first base runners throughout the course of the ball game. Yeager, he's very quick on the base pads, so don't be surprised to see him steal one of these times. Did he get him on first? No, he didn't. I heard one of the players out there for Cape Coral say he got him, but that's not the case. Yeager just got his hand out there on the bag. That is 3 straight checkovers to Yeager. That is unbelievable, folks. Matt Hardy hasn't even gone a single pitch yet, and now there's a timeout call. Hardy has been standing in the batter's box for it feels like ages. He hasn't even taken a single pitch yet. Reed is focusing all on Tyler Yeager on first. He's going over again. Yeah, if we used our rule we were talking about a little while back, yeah, that's the PA announcer's rule. Every time you go over the first base or check over the first, that should be a ball. That was 4 times now on Tyler. Will Hardy get a pitch? Yes, he will. That's out. Yeager going to second. He is safe. There's Tyler Yeager picking up the steal to second. And let's see if Matt Hardy can make anything good out of that nice play.
My. You worried so much about it, he got you anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's very interesting because Harris...
You just let him go on the first pitch and say, okay, we'll give that to you.
Harris was so concerned about Yeager over on first, and when he finally throws home to Hardy, which was a pitch outside, he's going over the third now. He is... No, he dropped the ball. Yeager is safe on third. He is making his way around the bases, steals second and steals third. Looked like the throw beat him originally, but it went out of the glove
One man is
of that third baseman, which was Angel Mena standing over on third. So now the Raiders are hyped up. They hope they have something going for them. And now there's a timeout on the mound. We'll have an infield meeting. With 2 outs for the Raiders, it's currently a 2-0 count there. Both pitches were low and outside. And now, let's have some fun. We're playing Jeopardy up here in the public address announcer's press box. If you are a listener from last season's broadcast, this was a timeless classic. Every time there was a meeting up on the mound, we played Jeopardy. We have all kinds of fun stuff to play during stoppages like these. Alright, so players making their way back to their spots, and we'll play the rest of Jeopardy. There we go, we played the full song. So here comes Hardy, 2-0 with 2 outs. It'd be nice if he can pick up some sort of hit to the outfield. That would be just enough to send Yeager home. He can't be sacrificed with 2 outs. And this is down third. Is it fair? Yes, it is. And here comes Yeager from third. And finally, the Raiders are on the board. Hardy's over on second. It's an RBI double. And it's 3-1 Seahawks. Wow. So that was interesting. Hardy picking up the clutch RBI double to put the Raiders on the board.
Batting next for your Raiders, third baseman, number 4, Hunter Tinsley.
Here comes Tinsley. So it makes you wonder, since the Raiders got on the board, maybe they can pick up the game a little bit here. Yeager's still second and third, and that was the RBI double that sent home Yeager. That was a stand-up there by Hardy as it was a line drive down third base. Just barely made it fair. So up comes Hunter Tinsley, and the Raiders are feeling good now along with the crowd. A little bit more energy now. Tinsley, if he can get a long hit to the outfield, maybe he can get some good things going here with Hardy on second. Takes a chop and a miss for the first pitch. Alright, so we finally have some great action here by the Raiders. Bottom of the third, now 3-1 in advantage of the Cape Coral Seahawks. That was a close one. And look at that, Hunter Tinsley, he doesn't even flinch. And that ball was just inches away from him. I'm not sure how some of those guys do it, I'll be honest with you. Alright, 1-1 with 2 outs. Hardy on second. Tinsley's batting right now. Bounces it to short. Going to the first base bag. He tags him for the out. So that retires the sides. Hardy is retired on second, or stranded rather. And now we head into your 4th inning of play. And it's 3-1. But the Raiders get on the board. More high school baseball action coming up on the Riverdale Raiders broadcast network right after this.
For the Cape Coral Seahawks, center fielder number 1, Vellum Brandt.
Vellum Brandt is going to get Cape Coral started here as we head into your 4th inning. Cape Coral up 3-1. Raiders able to score across a run. At the bottom of the third, it was Tyler Yeager coming home from third. Matt Hardy was able to pitch in with the RBI double. New pitcher on the mound for the Raiders is going to be number 12, Kyle Adorno, as he whips the first pitch home to Brandt. And Brandt will take it as a strike number 1. Adorno with the whip and fire. That's going to be hacked out to right, and it's going to be caught for out number 1 by none other than Matt Hardy. Tracking that ball down with great timing.
Next batter for Cape Coral, right fielder number 5, Jorge Espada.
Jorge Espana is going to be up next.
They come up, tell me it's George, I'm going to smack.
George. Yeah, it was a little bit of a misunderstanding. I think we got Jorge mixed up with George as... George is his older brother, huh? Great pun there as Espana takes a pitch over the head. He had to duck out of the way for the ball. So Adorno taking over for the starting pitcher Carson Palmquist. This is going to be swing and a miss. Yeah, a little bit of a sidearm throw here from Adorno, who whips the pitches off the right hand. Very is a unique style as he leans in, sets up for the pitch, whips the arm towards home. It's going to be over the second, over the first, and he beat the throw. Yes, he did. Very nice play. Daniel Kaler over on second. Chucks it over the first where Joel Velez is standing for your out. And the 4-3 put out in the scorebooks.
Next batter for Cape Coral, second baseman number 8, Andrew Jafarian.
Andrew Jafarian is going to be up next. Walked in his first at bat. Scored a run as well.
Yes, very good.
This is going to be a weak tapper out in front of Pringle, who fields it in foul territory.
Not cleanly.
Not
clean.
yeah, he bobbled it a bit and brought it home plate to Tyler Prell, the catcher, but he really tracked down that ball and threw it to home with great timing. I believe Coach Pringle was a pitcher back when he played ball. Back in the good old days, and there he goes again. He does it with a foul ball.
Maryville College.
Back to back. Played some ball with Maryville College here. We have a great source in the press box, our PA announcer, giving some nice did you know facts. 0-2 now for Andrew Jafarian. Oh, that's way outside, and now he's taking off the first. He said he was hit by the pitch, and that's what the situation's going to be. That one got him right off to his left side, and he'll take first base.
Next batter for the Seahawks, top of the order, shortstop number 5, Tyler Bontiger.
So it's going to be Bontiger. Alright, so Hunter Bontiger having a few moments to himself as the catcher is going to come home. That was Tyler Prell. Took a few moments with Kyle Adorno up on the pitcher's mound. Talked with him for a moment. As Andrew Jafarian is now on first, getting hit by the pitch. A little bit of warm-up action going far down the first base side in the Raiders bullpen. Can't see any numbers out there, unfortunately, but Adorno, for the most part, he's looking pretty solid. That pitch just got a little bit wild there and tapped Jafarian right off to the side. He starts off Bontrager with a 1-0 count. And here he goes. Runner taking off, and that's going to be fouled down third base with the chopper. Well, we'd like to wish our Riverdale boys varsity basketball team some good luck tonight as they were playing next door at the Raider Rock Gym in their district basketball contest against the Gulf Coast Sharks. Riverdale basketball, coached by Damon Jones, assisted by Vernon Brazil. That basketball game began at 7 p.m., the same time as this baseball game began, so they are full swing indoors at the gym. No pun intended, anyhow. Anyone? Huh, there we go. Full swing. We're playing baseball outside, anyhow. Well, there's Adorno checking over on first base. To Jafarian. taking a pretty nice lead off. This is a fly ball out to right center field. Hardy is going to find it, make the catch to retire your sides with no damage made by the Hawks. It's 3-1 Cape